fuck me, Your Majesty. Oh, baby. Controversial this week. We're watching American Beauty for this week's episode of...
Well, we'll just tell your mother that we ate it all.
What about
Yeah.
what about instead of POD the band?
What are the songs
Oh,
of POD song?
Youth of the
Boom,
Nation was
Alive,
theirs, right?
Youth
Oh,
of
I
the
Feel So
Nation.
Alive. What's the really bad one?
Boom. Here
All of
comes the
them.
Boom, ready or not.
Yeah.
Who was it? I think it was Gavin Scott was telling me that he went and saw them live.
Name drop.
And I didn't know they were a Christian band. And he
Yeah.
said that they after the supports or whatever, like they came out and then like opened with a prayer before they started playing.
Yeah.
Man,
Do you not do that before you get up? I do that every time down the bottom of the stairs at the Tudor
I mean,
Hotel.
you could argue that my whole set is a prayer because I'm just preaching, you know.
Yeah. I'm living on a prayer, baby.
Oh,
Jamie's works in a diner. I'm
Yeah.
down at the docks.
Oh, yeah.
God. Do you remember when you were like 16 and you thought that song ruled?
Living on a Prayer.
I remember
Yeah.
being 29
I remember
years
being
old.
33 and thinking it rules.
I think Bon Jovi fucking rules. Like,
I had
I can't separate it from Tom Walker now. I know
That's
there's
a great song.
I know there's a different song, but
yeah, that's a great song too, though. Wanted Dead or Alive. Oh, my
that's a great
lord,
song.
that's a stone cold
I
bang.
had-
can't get on board with
I
that
paid
tune.
money for one of his solo albums
Fuck
released
yeah.
as John Bon Jovi.
John.
Did you really?
Yeah.
When?
The Queen of New Orleans. Janie, don't you take your love to town? Or Jamie, don't you take your... it's one of
That's
those
probably
two.
why.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just imagined
No,
that
because
it was Jamie.
fucking cool.
Jamie's
dude.
favorite song is Jamie All Over by Mayday Parade.
Jamie's got a haircut.
Yeah.
That looks
Andrew,
great.
I said
I
that.
got a haircut too, but it was a less significant one.
And it was
Yeah.
while we were away.
No, I mean, I got another haircut.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Another one.
I'm doing my
Right.
first...
You seem like you have your roots touched up.
I did that too. I did that
Yeah,
myself,
this
though.
looks like
Yeah.
a fresh job.
Yeah, I did a fresh dye job recently. What? I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah, it's unusual.
Yeah, I know. It feels good.
Watch you prancing around
Yeah. I came in...
without a care in the world.
I walked into the blast hole this morning in a pretty good mood.
You came down the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Rose and Jamie were off-put by my positive vibe.
It's sweet.
You just wooed as soon as you walked in.
I was eating a
very
good
odd.
avocado.
Have you heard
Yeah, it was
Have you
odd.
heard the big relevant news?
No.
DJ Qualls came
Oh.
out as gay
Really?
on Twitter today.
Really?
Today?
2 hours ago.
By
Yeah.
which you mean he posted that he was a fan of 21 Pilots? I don't know. Was that-
No, he
It's like
God.
a way someone could in that.
he
I
did
don't
it at interestingly enough, he did it at a Jim Jeffries show.
Sure.
So he's on
What, like on his show, or like he was like sitting in the audience at a Jim Jeffries show and was like, you know what, enough of being
This guy's stuff
fucking
about gun
victimized,
controllers
like-
made me realize I'm gay.
yeah, this guy being really mean to gay people has made me realize that
Is Jim
I'm
Jeffries
gay.
mean to gay people?
I think he was.
He's definitely been like kind of lesbian specific homophobic.
But he's woke. He did the gun thing.
Yeah, that's true. Every person is either entirely good or entirely bad.
Yeah, exactly. Haven't
Yep.
you ever
That's how I
played
feel.
D&D before? We're gonna. All right, let's do a D&D campaign.
All right.
I'll
so,
be-
uh,
I'll be the dungeon master. You can be a devious little elf with a hook nose.
Oh, this is when I
Alright.
should have gone to the
I
toilet.
think Elizabeth Warren is true neutral. I
Yeah.
think Bernie Sanders is chaotic good.
I was gonna say chaotic.
is
good,
that
too.
what that comes from?
Yeah.
D&D. It's a D&D. language.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
knew what that was.
Yeah, it's so you know.
I was out playing sports.
Well, that means Trump's chaotic evil, right?
Yeah, I was gonna do just the Democratic
Yeah.
nominees because it's a podcast.
What's butt gig?
Buckgig is I would say is he the one that skates?
No, that's Beto.
All right, well
Butt
Beto's
gig is the folder on my computer that's just 1 gig of photos of asses.
I would say
Yeah, I
he's
love
lawful.
that
I would
Buckgig.
say he's lawful evil.
Yeah.
And I would say I know nothing about his policies, and I would say Andrew Yang is neutral good.
Yeah.
Are these punchlines?
No.
No, not at all.
But these would go well in any old comedy room, probably.
Absolutely. If I actually just lined the references so they made it, if I did my research and made the references make sense, probably.
I wonder how many laughs you could get just by stringing like things like that together.
I
You
mean,
know,
there's
like-
ways we could find out. And then we bleep out some comedians' names, and then,
Yeah.
then we go to their shows.
But it would be like.
Oh, but in like clap happy like American rooms,
like
for
people
sure.
get chlamydia a lot.
But I think yeah.
No, where people are just like so ready to be like, woo.
Oh,
But
I thought you meant people who get chlamydia a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably do as well, but
That's probably the paradigm's probably shifted a little bit there, right? Because like
Yeah.
now where you just get like laughs and claps for being like, "Whoa, my man is Salacious Crumb up in here." Now now it's got to be like AOC's got a hot policy.
AOC, I wouldn't mind seeing her in a Leia bikini. I'd be like Salacious Crumb up there.
Yeah, well, is anyone combining woke stuff with nerd pop culture references?
Oh,
You know,
Almost
Jamie,
certainly.
I suspect they are.
No.
I had to put money on it.
Wait, you're telling me that
Damn.
there are left-leaning comedians out there making woke points while also comparing it to pop culture things?
Man, I got some tweets about Harry Potter that I have to show you.
But Harry Potter's not woke anymore, so you probably couldn't be like, oh, so like we gotta fuck up Trump like the way Harry fucked up Voldemort. 'Cause
Yeah.
people would be like, what, transphobically?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, no, that's not what I meant.
well, because
that's why there's no that's why she imagined like a universe in which like just kind of like endless magic exists, so
Yeah.
that she could just like very quickly erase any transgenderism. Like if someone had that thought in their head, she'd
Yeah,
be
of
like, well, I'll
course.
just like
they
make
go,
you a cis woman.
fuck, what's the name of the forgetting spell? There is a name for it. Who cares? The joke I was going to make was...
Oh, good. I look forward to feeling bad.
No. It's
Okay.
It's so because J.K. Rowling is transphobic,
Yeah.
that then means we now have to be against her entirely. So
Agreed.
Her novels, which the primary sort of allegory is like basically for the Holocaust and Nazis, and it's like broadly about racism. So now because
Really?
she's man. There's a slur in it. Like they invent a wizard slur.
yeah, mud
Mudblood.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about that's an allegory for race. And they're like the Death Eaters look like dressed in the Klan outfits, and it's all like Nazi shit and like.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was going to say is now I think racism is good because
Yeah.
I've flipped the moral of Harry Potter because J.K.
Yeah,
Rowling
so
is
because
transphobic.
J.K. Rowling has
Right.
done that thing, now everything.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
There is
I'm
a lot of
that much of an ally.
the most racist thing, at least in the movies, I'm sure this has been covered before, but it's just like
The goblins.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like
man,
they.
that's certainly been covered.
Yeah, it's it's crazy how like
Yeah, it's
egregious
hilarious.
that is, though.
Man,
I don't think you could blame that on J.K. Rowling. Though.
No, it's the Tolkien.
No, but
Because,
the
like-
filmmakers.
but
yeah.
like, but
But
drawing
she's.
from
I don't think in the
canon of-
book she's like they're Jewish.
They do,
Yeah.
I think the phrase "hooked nose" is in there, and they do run the banks.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
but I mean, like a goblin has a hooked nose usually.
right. But I think the initial. Yeah, I think you're right. In the
Yeah,
sense
but
that
they
the
didn't
initial
always
design
work in
for-
the bank.
The initial
You know?
No,
design.
they're doing well for themselves.
The initial design for a goblin was
A Jewish thing.
was inherently anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that? I sent you a screenshot of a Pokemon this morning.
Yeah.
What was it called? If you want to
It
follow.
was called like Noseth.
It evolved from Nose
Noseth.
Pass.
Yeah.
But I can't. It was called like it had It was like Proboscis. It had
Yeah.
Probus in its name. Anyway, it looks like a
Proboscis.
Hasidic Jew.
It's called
Cookie.
Goy Boy.
It's a Pokemon with a gigantic nose, and it seems to have like a hat, like a
Well, the
traditional hat
beard-
on,
the
and then
bushy
this very
beard.
curly, bushy beard, and it is hilarious.
That's it.
It is so
That's-
racist.
that's
What,
it.
does it look like a Hasidic Jew or something?
Yeah, it's like a Pokemon that looks like a racist caricature of a Hasidic Jew.
It's a bit on the nose, if you know what
Ah.
I mean.
Ah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll get the name and thing up.
We should-
I don't think it's that important.
People want to follow on alone. Pokemon nerds will get annoyed. Please trust me on this one.
That's true. I don't actually doubt
I got a
that a lot of their
DM
fans would be
from
Pokemon
a listener
nerds.
about Pokemon yesterday. so
Did you really?
I did. It's
What
just
listener?
Elliot. It was someone we know.
Oh,
Oh, right, right. Shouts out to
Promo
Elliot.
Pass, it's called, and this is what it looks like, Rose.
Oh, wow. But no, you know what that also kind of looks like? Is the,
You say Ben Caution, I'm walking out.
no. It looks like the Groucho mask.
Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah,
Maybe that's how they get away with it.
But its gimmick is like it evolves from this one,
And the
So
Groucho
whole
mask
gimmick
is like I reckon
the nose.
that's funny again.
the Groucho mask.
Yeah, it's like if you were wearing that.
Are you getting up tonight?
Like if you'll let me.
Man,
We'll see. We'll see how big the audience is.
Yeah.
I'll come have a beer.
Have we ever discussed that on the podcast? Is like I'm not allowed to be booked at Everly Comedy because I'm cursed, and every time I'm booked on it, no audience turn up.
Yeah, but it's also not a trans thing.
No, it's just because of that.
It's a curse thing.
I will happily take that as well. I just hang out there every week. And when there's an audience, I'm like, hey, can I get on?
Yeah, and the spots do come.
Yeah,
do you
they
think
do.
we should organize a book burning of J.K. Rowling?
Yeah, I think
Like,
so.
let's go all the way the other way.
Yeah,
Be like,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
not
yeah,
woke.
yeah.
Let's do the worst thing imaginable. This is like-
Well, it's weird for
We
me
should put
now.
all the transphobes in camps.
It's weird for me now because my sister had a baby like a month and a half ago, and she is like the biggest fucking Harry Potter
It's got
nerd.
Draco.
Yeah.
So like every little baby thing that they have on this child is just Harry Potter related, and I'm
Yeah.
standing there holding it, being like,
Yeah.
"Did you know that J.K. Rowling's a transphobe?"
Yeah, I did love Harry Potter a lot.
Are you renouncing it?
No, I love
officially.
Harry Potter. No, of course not. I love Harry
Well,
Potter.
you should.
Yeah,
Damn.
you willing to say that right in my
There's
presence?
nothing transphobic in the books. Like,
Oh, I reckon if you went digging, you could probably.
I
Find
mean, I'm sure
something.
we could construct something.
I don't see any trans characters.
There's polyjuice potion.
Yeah, so you can dress like someone else.
What
I
did
guess that
do
is
again?
transphobic.
No, is
Like,
it?
because they're like, not really, I guess. But if you were to
Well,
try
it's
to
like
apply
drag
that
or
logic
something.
to it, it would be.
Yeah, I
But you wouldn't
guess.
need to.
But like
I'd
they're-
long for magic because then I could just change it all. It'd be
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, but what if it fucks up? Because you know how like
But then you could get
That's
like
like
Hermione, like someone who's
Transfiguration.
good to come and like
Yeah,
fix
that
it
happens.
for
They
you.
fuck up transfiguration stuff all the
Well,
time.
I was
and
thinking
it-
like the Flu Network, except it's like becoming trans.
yeah.
And like sometimes you walk in, but like sometimes you can
Yeah.
come out like a fly creation where you go in with your mates and
And
then
s-
you combine.
and
it.
instead of- you know how-
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, that'd be. I could go in with
Guys, I
a
have a
trans.
very-
I could go in with a trans man, and we could swap.
You know,
No, that would be a straight body swap machine, wouldn't
So-
it?
Okay.
No, but like you know, like
Oh, if you
we'd
meld
come,
together.
we'd both come out like fly things.
Yeah, but then you'd probably be sharing the same body.
All right.
So you'd
Oh,
be
that's
one
true.
person.
No, not because isn't it like? Well, I'm just thinking of the Simpsons episode where the fly head thing comes out, and then the little fly.
I
with
haven't
Bart
actually
sing-
seen The Fly.
I haven't either. But
Okay, so it's
I'm
the
just
bit-
thinking of the Simpsons parody.
in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, where Harry's getting into the Flu Network, and he's supposed to say Diagon Alley, but he sneezes because of the powder, and he accidentally says diagonally, and it fucks up the whole thing. It's the exact same thing, but it's Rose going into the chimney for the Flu Network, but she says viaginally.
Yeah. And then it fucks her up.
Yeah,
So there we
What's
go.
a Viaginal look like?
we're trying to say vaginally.
No, I know, you fucking moron.
Oh, you come out with a penis, like you're born with a penis. Is what,
that happened already.
yeah,
and
that's what I'm
it
saying. It's a
wasn't
metaphor
good.
for your
You-
creation.
You come out with an even bigger one.
Oh no,
Jesus, Rose.
Jesus!
It's like you
That's
can't
just
walk
taking a
anymore.
piss.
Rose, you're gonna need bigger shorts.
It's like Jaws.
hanging out the
We're gonna
side,
need
dude.
some bigger shorts. That happened to me in an Uber.
Your dick fell out of your shorts.
Yeah, I don't know.
How's that
Who
even
knows
happen?
when he would come back on, so we can tell the story. But we were at the pub like a little while ago, and a friend of the show, Sam Taunton, turned up. And about an hour into him being there, he'd been sitting on this the whole time, said that he was wearing like those little Adidas shorts, got into the Uber, and the Uber driver was like, mate, you might want to strap in. And his dick and balls were just hanging out the bottom of it. Completely.
Man, I'm wearing some little out of that shorts.
But
But
he-
we can make this happen.
see
No,
it,
let's
Dick.
not make it happen.
But would that imply that Sam Taunton was not wearing underwear?
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
he
wearing
said
underwear.
he said he was not wearing underwear,
Right.
but he like had to pull them in or whatever. And then like I thought that was so funny. And then like a week later, that happened to me. He said it wasn't the whole thing; it was just like the sort of the tip.
Yeah,
But
that's never
luckily,
happened to me.
the guy didn't notice. I noticed, or maybe he did. He didn't say anything.
I wear underwear. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I would always wear underwear, but this was like
But the
to be honest,
anaconda
there-
could not be contained.
no, I
The
wasn't.
experiment got out of the lab.
No, this was the one day where I wasn't wearing underwear because I got a message from my drug dealer saying, "Hey, you got to get here now." I'm like, "Fuck!" So I
Yeah.
bolted out of the house.
Man, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Should we talk about this movie? I feel like there's a lot to discuss.
Sure.
Okay, hello. Welcome to We'll Just Tell
You
Your
know,
Mother.
I love Phil.
Or actually, fill it for another second.
I
I've
love
got to
the
get
art
the
of cinema.
You know I love the movies.
movies.
Yeah.
I love going to the pictures.
Did you see
That
Ricky,
is actually what my.
Did you see Ricky Gervais's monologue at the Golden Globes?
My
He takes no prisoners.
my grandfather,
He
God
sure
rest
had to
his
tell
soul.
those Hollywood elite how they.
It's fucking so
Hollywood
stupid.
thing
Like
chose
both
me.
takes on Ricky
Oh,
Gervais's
they're
things
both bad.
were so
Every
bad.
take is bad.
Yeah.
There's not a single good
It's just
take
like,
on Ricky Gervais.
Just let him try
He's a
and
good
be
take.
funny.
He sucks.
yeah, he just kind of sucks. But like, he just kind of sucks. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, he's
like,
really
what he does is
annoying.
really bad. But it's like let's just don't look, guys. Like,
To be
Yeah.
fair,
I mean-
he's kind of pretty actively gone out and made shitty jokes about trans people. So,
yeah, that sucks. But my thing is more like, it's
and
like
I already didn't like him.
he shouldn't
so.
be hosting them, but like we shouldn't be engaging with what he says even. Like he's
I didn't even
he's
watch
a-
it. I have no
yeah,
idea what he
understand.
said.
He's a fool. Like, why would you even care? Like,
Yeah.
just don't worry about it, and he'll stop getting booked. He gets like
Well, I mean, it was his last one, so he was going scorched earth, saying what he truly
Damn.
felt.
Gervais.
How did they
Unleashed.
know it was his last one?
Because it was like in the contracts.
Right.
So he kept saying that like on stage when like people were growing, it'd be like, "Don't worry, it's the last one." But he like got like,
Don't worry, it's the last one. Anyway, so the Jews. I think we should get the Jews.
but people did like kind of reduce it to sound bites because like I watched the whole thing. There is some like funny-ish stuff in there, and like a lot
He
of
has made funny stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
a lot of the stuff like he does just also tell jokes in addition to like the things that like have been sound bit. Like
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
The
Yeah,
liberal
there is a
Hollywood elite.
There's a
and Jeffrey
context for what he's
Epstein
saying. He
stuff.
didn't just
Yeah.
go out there and read a list of offensive
Yeah,
words.
he's not like, all right, you twats, it's time to really give it to you.
Yeah, but no, he fucking sucks. But it's like every take is just so like we can just not think about him so much.
Yeah, and also
Aren't you just giving him what he wants? Like,
And also, like, it's not like he was going out there and saying deliberately hateful things or even, like, hateful things. Like, he was doing, like, a whole, like, pretty hypocritical rant about how, like,
oh, that sucks.
about how, like, Hollywood people shouldn't, like, fucking get politically involved because they're all dumb people who just graduated high school and, like, Netflix and...
Yeah.
No, he didn't mention Netflix because he has a deal with Netflix.
Of course.
He
Yeah,
mentioned,
yeah.
like, iTunes
He's got like
and
a
Disney Plus.
He's got like specials and
yeah,
a show and
it's
shit
like,
on
you
it.
guys with your stuff don't get to have an
Yeah.
opinion. But he, I
Yeah,
don't-
you guys
saying-
on Stan.
but I also don't think he was then saying like, "But I do." Like I think
No, of course. But he did, though. Like, there's inherent politics to a lot of what he says. Like,
Yeah.
even if it is a dumb joke. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, no, even if it wasn't intentional, it comes across as everyone except me. Like,
yeah, I do think that is stupid, and I think
Yeah.
like that joke was stupid.
it's also like there is merit in like, you know, like for the, you know, like a good example like with the fires or whatever. It's like raising awareness is often like bullshit, but like that's a situation where it's like kind of helpful and important and like shut up, like shut up, Ricky.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, like fucking.
when Russell Crowe had his thing read out is what.
But he
I'm,
did
Well,
do-
when Patricia Arquette, I think it was years ago, was just like used it to be like, hey, women should be paid the same. Like that's
Yeah.
good. It's a platform.
It's
Do
also
that.
there was also years of criticism of like, look at these Hollywood elite millionaires just patting themselves on the back, not doing
Yeah.
anything for anyone. It's like, well, what do you want? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, now they are doing something. So
Yeah, you fucking reap
let
what
them.
you
Shut the
sow.
fuck up.
Yeah.
But he did mention that Epstein didn't kill himself.
yeah. I mean, I'm big on that theory.
Oh, that was quite funny. Actually.
I didn't realize that not everyone was on the same page on that. I was like hanging out. With
That's because you're a liberal Hollywood elite.
I was hanging out with like just some mates the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, Epstein though, like he did kill himself though, right?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't." Like friends of mine, like friends of ours, being like, "Oh, I don't think so."
You don't think Epstein?
No, I do think Epstein. No, I don't think. Epstein
I have
killed
a friend
himself.
who like.
Fuck.
I have a friend who's skeptical
That he did or didn't.
that he did.
Skeptical that he did kill himself, so thinks that
Yes.
he didn't kill himself. I think Epstein definitely didn't kill himself.
Yeah, you
Oh
think
no
Epstein got
She
murdered.
she's
Yeah.
the other way.
So
She's
you're
the other
saying
way.
you think Epstein got murdered by the Clintons?
Not the Clintons necessarily.
she's skeptical and thinks she's
But if you
skeptical. and-
really want to get into it.
Yeah, I do.
I think she thinks
I
that
don't-
maybe he took the easy way out.
Yeah. But also, like, I include so under murder, I include was enabled to kill himself.
Right.
So I think it's possible he was given the equipment and the cameras were shut off. Like, because where's the fucking footage? It's whatever.
This is so fun. It's like, can't we just think it's funny either way?
It's hilarious either way,
Yeah.
Jamie.
Well,
I'm just saying I'm not an idiot for thinking he didn't kill himself.
I was doing a job this week with next week's guest, and a couple of other comedians where we were like selling merch for like a kids show at the Opera House, and we like met the guys who host it after, because like after we'd like sold the merch, we had to go in there and like carry microphones around and like get the little kids to like ask them questions and shit, and they wanted us to figure out a way to like shoehorn Epstein didn't kill himself into it.
Damn.
I really wish we had like,
really
hi
funny.
doctors, I'm here with Jeffrey, and then the next one, I'm here with Epstein. They're like, I said my name was Kyle. Shut up.
You know, there's a conspiracy theory that the meme about Epstein not killing himself was developed by, you know, billionaire elites as a way to sort of normalize, like, and sort of actually,
Yeah, it's kind of-
to make
it's
people
kind
be
of
like, Epstein, like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like, what the fuck happened to Epstein?
Well, it's like a dystopian novel where you feed like people
Absolutely.
like the drugs and they become desensitized and don't look at the other issues.
Do you know what else is like a dystopian novel?
Fucking this,
this
dude.
goddamn endless war. That Cheeto faced fucking. But no,
That
it's
Cheeto
Hey, you know what else
Endless War is
Suleimani did.
Endless War is a big part of
You
one
know
of
what
the two
else
books
is like
I've
a
read,
dystopian
1984.
novel? Brave New World, because it is a dystopian novel.
That's true. But in 1984, there's an endless war, which is what's happening now. And I've read 2 books, so I got to reference it when it's relevant. You know. Do you got anything from Watchmen you want me to talk about?
Yeah.
Welcome to
absolutely.
Will Just Tell Your Mother. We edit all the podcasts about teen sex
Also
comedies
Fight
and
Club.
things thereabouts.
Have you read a
and,
novel,
and
Fight
Fight Club?
A couple times.
I read it back in
It's
the day.
great.
It's like
It's
so close to the.
It's the
film.
most true. It's like the closest film adaptation of. The only thing they do is they make the films less gay. Like they take out the part where the main character's definitely gay.
I thought that it's pretty heavily implied in the film that.
Yeah, but at the end they kind of no homo it.
Because he's with Marla.
Yeah,
at
they
the
don't.
end.
They take out
Yeah.
that part, and also they meet differently. There's just a bit more.
It's
so
pretty
it makes it
much
clear
like
that the jealousy is actually of Marla fucking Brad Pitt, not of Brad Pitt fucking Marla.
yeah, it's
Right.
pretty much to the letter, because like
Except for
so much of the dialogue is the same, except
Yeah.
the ending is a little bit different.
Pretty much all the dialogue, and the way they meet's different. But yeah,
Okay,
Anyway.
but this week we are doing American Beauty. Ooh, it's a 1999 American drama film written by Alan Ball, directed by Sam Mendes. In his feature directorial debut, Kevin Spacey stars as Lester Burnham, an advertising executive who has a midlife crisis when he becomes infuriated with his teenage daughter's best friend, played by Mina Suvari. More blah, 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 blah,
Did you
blah,
say
blah.
infuriated or infuriated?
Oh, infatuated.
Because it would be a very different movie if he was just angry. This hot bitch is
I'm so angry and horny.
Yeah, that would be like
I did
that would be
mean-
like the rise of Trump movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did say infuriated. I
It's
did mean
just-
to say infatuated.
She
yes.
takes off her top and a bunch of red MAGA
Yeah,
caps
yeah,
come
yeah.
out.
There's two
Yeah.
swastikas over the nipples.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What
I've
did
been
what,
black-pilled.
so this you know
Don't interrupt me. he's like the problem with you women in society.
These fucking chads.
We live in a society.
there is a bit of that
Yeah.
attitude in this. What did you
A
reckon?
bit.
No, I don't know about that. I think it's like you read it the way you want to read it. Like
Oh, but like Ricky or whatever like would be like anti-Chad.
Was Ricky the filmmaker boy?
Yeah, the weird guy.
He's a
Yeah,
soft
he's
boy.
more like anti-normie.
Yeah.
More than anti-Chad. Though I guess those ideas are pretty
But like
lame.
Mina Savari's character is like the female Chad, and
Yeah.
he hates her for that.
Yeah, I love Chads.
Yeah, that's sick.
We're Chads. All three.
So this
I
is
would
an interesting movie to watch in the post Kevin Spacey being Me Too.
Who wants to
era.
do the job of ironically defending the film? I mean, I got
Of course
some takes.
Jamie does.
I mean, I like the film.
Yeah.
But I was reading up on
Yeah.
I was reading up on this, and apparently, like, almost immediately, like, because this movie was, like, a huge critical success, but then, like, almost immediately everyone, like, reappraised it.
Yeah, because of
Apparently.
9/11.
But what's 9/11 got to do with this?
Because it kind of shattered like the critique kind of boring suburban existence when people like more important things. I fucking read like because it is interesting.
It's
that-
such a pity party.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because like it's one of the only movies that we've done because so many of them are actually reviewed quite poorly.
It's like
but it's like one of the
considered good.
but it's like one of the only ones that's considered good in Wikipedia, but then has like
this
a
won
separate,
5 Oscars.
but then has a separite backlash tab.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I read the article, some guy like reappraising it in 2019 about 99 movies and
Like
talking about
post
like, yeah,
Spacey?
and talking about like the slow kind of backlash against it and why now it's mostly bad. And I would say I agree with about 30% of it. Like, it makes one of the most ridiculous points I've ever seen in pinpointing a backlash against a movie, which is like, in early 2002, Family Guy parodied it twice within 6 weeks, and it's like, and that's when you knew the critical consensus is shifting. You're like, what the? No, it's
Shut
Family.
the fuck up.
It's
What are you
like,
talking
it's
about?
like fucking. And he
But-
names the gags as well, and they're two dumb cutaways.
Yeah.
from Family Guy.
That's a
But
terrible
you
point.
Also, like, you can't like a shitty reviewer reaching with a shitty critique doesn't take away from the massive and obvious problems with the movie. Like, there's other reasons why the movie has issues. Like,
My opinion after rewatching it this time is that I think maybe the movie is not very good, but it's filled with some really good performances.
the performances are great.
Like, Annette Bening deserved an Oscar for this.
Yeah,
She's
she was
so
great.
good in it.
Yeah. My thing is, like, I don't know. I think it is so. How many, like, this is the coldest take on earth, but, like, literally how many movies do we need about disenfranchised, like, white men? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, oh, my life's boring and I live in this. There's so many it's such a played out story. And I know the irony of me saying that while listening to emo music, but, like,
Yeah, but I don't think the movie, like, because I was watching that, when I was watching it again, I was kind of like, oh yeah, but it's all about the way you look at it, because, like, I don't think the movie does that big a thing of glorifying what Kevin Spacey does and is like, this is the right thing to do.
no, but I don't think that's what the movie's about. I think it's about the frustrations of living that life, which is kind of like, all
Yeah,
right.
but also, I
He
think it would
kind
also
of gets
be like,
let off the hook a little bit at the end
It
when
don't-
he decides to stop because she's a virgin.
It's less of a... That's shit. I thought that was such a cop-out.
Yeah.
Not that he should have fucked her or anything, but it's just like, that doesn't redeem him at all. Like, that doesn't change
But
any
he's
of the
not.
things he's
Yeah.
done. That
Yeah,
doesn't...
but he's not redeemed. Like, and
Yeah,
in the
I know,
second
I
letter,
agree.
he gets fucking shot in the head.
So what I'm saying is, like,
Yeah.
we shouldn't look at what the film's saying so much through...
But he didn't get shot in the head for that.
Like, you shouldn't be looking at what the film's saying so much just through the arc of the character. Like, that's just one factor. It is fundamentally about, like, that feeling of that this particular feeling they're trying to the disenfranchised middle class man feeling or whatever. They're trying to get that across, and you are, whether or not it's for good or bad, you are supposed to sympathize with him and have like the scenes where he lashes out are supposed to be incredibly cathartic, and they are when you watch them. Like, they're very well made and like they're great. But I think, like, just because Kevin Spacey's not a good guy in the movie doesn't mean that the
Or
story's not kind of
IRL.
boring or doesn't redeem all the negative, like the shitty stuff that's in there. And like, I don't like, I'm not like super woke patrol about it or whatever, but it's like, just watching the movie, it's like, oh god, he's just lusting after a 17-year-old for 2 hours. All right, like, it's a lot.
But like,
Touche, good sir.
That's so funny to just speak for that long and then just get.
yeah, wrong. Sorry.
No, not even that. Just like apathy. Just like,
Yeah, I
Just
just
complete
think it's
ambivalence.
so boring to like watch movies in such a negative way. Like
I agree.
that.
I agree with that.
Well, I was
try
trying.
not to,
I was
like-
trying to find things to enjoy about it. Like, it was like
There was
are
plenty
like,
I enjoyed.
There
'Cause
are
I do
good
think it takes
performances.
great
I think it's very
pains-
well scored.
Because I think it does take like great pains to not completely demonize Annette Bening. Like,
yeah.
particularly in the scene where she's in the car singing and she's just fired the gun and stuff.
Yeah, she sucks.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
That's not.
but
like,
like,
But
every,
he's also been shit. Like,
they both suck.
they've fallen
Like, that's
apart.
not-
So
Like,
does
they've
the
been
kid.
shitty
The
to
kid
each
sucks.
other.
Every
Like,
character in the movie is a bad person.
yeah.
Which is fine. I have no problem with that. I like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, that's not a problem for me. But yeah, that's what
who do you think is the most redeemable, like, central character? Is it Thora Birch?
Chris Cooper.
I think what I'm saying
Oh,
is Chris
God.
Cooper's great at it.
He is really good at
You know what I was imagining is like him like having the like thing with like the like guns and Nazi memorabilia and that. I'm just like, oh, if only those were a couple of Makitas, just some big bad drills in there.
What's the name of the actor who's from the OC? What's that guy's name?
Who are you talking
The dad from the OC.
I know.
Oh,
he's-
Peter Gallagher.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
I
the
think
one.
he's fantastic in this. I think he's so good at
He's
it.
all eyebrows.
You know what I do?
Yeah. He plays that character quite well.
Yeah, I think,
Which is my favorite. Like, it's not. It's said by Annette Bening, but it's with him. It's my favorite line in the whole movie. Is just, "Fuck me, Your Majesty."
yeah.
Are they getting fucked by the king? I imagine Hastings says that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think what I'm saying, Jamie, sorry, but I want to clarify something. I'm not saying that the movie's bad because it lines up with this thing of this story being overplayed. I'm saying when I was watching it, I was a little bit bored by it. Like, because of that, like, not in some sort of like woke criticism, just like, man, I've seen this and I think it's kind of boring and lame, and I think it's kind of like
Yeah, I
more
think
that,
that's
yeah,
fair
that's
enough.
more that, like, rather than me going like, well, actually, the blah blah blah. I'm not a woke skull.
Like if you were like, yeah, this is wrong, and as a result, I don't like it. Where's he going? What's he doing?
I think he's looking for beers.
They're in my backpack.
I like that he almost put your finger up as if to say like, stop talking.
No, I was like, I'll be back.
Um,
Yeah, I need, and I'm thirsty after making some good ass film points. I need to top up.
It's interesting that it's also written by like a gay man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Alan Ball like has done very good things.
I think if you
What else has he done?
A little show called 6 Feet Under.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, 6 Feet Under is great. It actually, this tonally feels pretty similar to 6 Feet Under a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
Is Thora Birch in 6 Feet Under?
She is not.
Man,
Man, Thora Birch has got some like. I think we can all
Oh
agree.
God, are you about to say Jumbo Yum Yums or something like
Yes.
that?
Thora Birch is the hot young girl in it,
I don't
right?
even remember that.
Thora Birch is a girl with
Thora
big
Birch is the
titties.
one that you'd definitely be into.
Yeah.
The
But
moody.
the daughter or the daughter's
the
friend?
Yeah,
daughter.
the moody daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like for someone that's like, I want to get a boob job. It's like you don't need it.
You're doing fine.
I feel like
Yeah.
the most. I feel like maybe the most sympathetic character in the movie is Mina Savari's character because she's just like, kind of faking it because she's so insecure.
Yeah.
But
I
he's
kinda
not
think-
I wouldn't know
necessarily a bad
anything about
person.
that.
Yeah, it does have big Hastings vibes. Mina Savari's character.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Going
she
around
does.
being like,
Just
you ever
delusionally
fucking fucked someone before?
I want to fucking suck your dad's dick.
And then like at the end, like my mom is like
Your
trying to
dad's
seduce
got a baby.
Hastings,
Oh.
and Hastings is like, "It's my first time. I've got a weird winky."
Oh God.
That is what happened when I lost my virginity.
You did.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
No, not at all.
I think
it was both
um,
our first times. It was a beautiful moment.
I reckon Ricky's probably the most.
Oh yeah.
Like him.
Sucks.
Yeah, I mean he sucks, but like look what he's being given.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like
right,
a deeply homophobic, like authoritarian
Oh,
dad,
yeah,
and
sure.
like a drugged out Allison Janney.
Oh, baby.
Underutilized. She's
I love
so
Alison
good.
Janney. She's such a fucking good actress.
Oh, she's so good.
Man, what a goddess. She's so tall as well.
And so
What
he's
did you? Which word did you just use to describe her?
I said goddess. In
Oh
fact.
yeah. You mean like that show at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival starring Rose Piper, March 26th to April 19
Yeah, I heard about that.
in the Mantra?
I heard that show was happening.
Oh, I thought Goddess was a Cassie Workman show for
That's giant.
It was
jokes.
giant.
Yeah,
I-
that's not a completely crazy. Like,
Yeah, I realized that like after I'd already submitted everything.
I just made
and
the
it's like,
connection
oh God damn it! Like,
just then. I think you're fine. I think that's. Totally
Yeah, I don't
fine.
think it's a big
but it's
deal.
the year after as well.
Also, like comedically, the only thing you and Cassie have in common is that you're both trans. Like,
Yes.
you are so
Does
different.
Cassie
Oh
get
yeah,
those
yeah, we're
silos.
very, very far from each other.
Do you know the optics on whether Cassie gets to run as best newcomer because she's now Cassie and not Michael?
That's
Absolutely
not the
not.
correct
But also, she just did it, and she got nominated for the top award.
She's
Yeah,
won
yeah.
best newcomer already. Like,
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
could you do it again?
No, it's the same. Like,
it's the same person.
it's like the same Medicare number. You know what I mean? Like, you're the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
person. You just got a name change. You know
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
some people
They have those things about like doing Raw and like being in a double act
Yeah.
and shit.
There's some
Like,
spreadsheet that exists in some government database, and you have the same unique identifying number. You know what I mean?
Sure, but like, say-
well, I'm judging Raw again in a couple of days.
I'm not like trying to make a point about like wokeness or trans things either way. I'm just
I
saying
think you
that. Okay, here we go. No, I'm saying that like
Say it directly into my face.
Well, what I'm saying is that if I was trans, right?
Yes.
And I'd written my show.
Man, if you were trans, Jamie, things would be a little different.
I think it'd sound a little something
like this.
No, so like if I was trans and I'd written a show that I was, say, immensely proud of about my coming out and whatever, I'd been working on the scene for the same amount of time I had, and then like I've done.
This is pretty similar to me so far.
Yeah, but like, but the main difference being like I've done, say, like Melbourne before as a solo run, but like as a bloke, just being like Jamie Kirk's in farting and rooting, and then like,
Oh, I would see that show.
well, it's coming.
Hell yeah.
but like Jamie Kirk's in farting and rooting, and I'm just kind of like, well, that's not who I am, who I was, but I don't have I don't have a profile. So like, if my amazing trans show like. It's not going to go near the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Award because that's going to be full of like lifers and amazing acts and people that have been doing it and been doing it on the radar. Why am I denied Best Newcomer for what essentially to me is a newcomer show?
Yeah.
Because I'm abandoning my old
So
persona.
what
You
you're
could probably
asking?
present your case to them.
So what
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What you're asking isn't though, would Cassie automatically requalify? What you're asking for is if Cassie or you in this scenario put pressure on the festival, would they or just ask?
I agree. Like, but
I think if
that's different,
I
like,
think
going in.
pressure's the wrong
Well,
word.
when you
Sure,
when you
yeah,
apply
yeah.
for the show, you
Ask.
tick the little box that said this is my first solo show. So you could do that and then just put a little note and
But
be like,
then
hey,
But then if someone disagreed, like, so if Melbourne was like, no, sorry,
man,
can't
you
do-
nudge them and like they'll probably have to move for
Can
you.
I weigh in? Because
Sure.
I have a strong opinion on this. If I was someone also going for Best Newcomer that year,
fuck you.
absolute, like not even kidding, absolutely fuck you. Like,
Yeah, you'd be like,
so
Fart
unfair.
and Rootin' was bad.
I'd be like, sorry you didn't win with Fart and Rootin', dog. Like, I don't.
Man, I
Yeah, but you see, then
can't
I'd fucking-
believe Fartin and Rootin didn't win. I can't believe
But then
it.
I
That's
would
such an
probably,
revenge.
but then
You've already done
wouldn't,
it.
yeah, but then wouldn't I be within my rights to say that that's transphobic of you to say?
And I'd say, no, it's not. Shut up. Like, I don't know.
You'd say, shut up,
Yeah,
bitch.
just decide something's transphobic.
The eternal
Wait,
argument.
you don't think
Shut up.
You don't think trans people get to decide that something's transphobic? You do, gatekeeper,
no,
white
Yeah,
male.
mother-
I don't
Motherfucker.
think one
What,
transphobic
that-
I'm
gets
just
to
talking-
label
I'm
something
standing in front of you
automatically
as a
transphobic.
beautiful trans woman with my new trans hour after farting and rooting, and you're telling me
I
that
can't
you
wait to
think-
do my show
I'm
next
telling
year
you,
called.
that's not your first Melbourne hour. That's all
But
I'm
it is
saying.
my first
No,
Melbourne.
it's not.
So I'm saying, like, if Melbourne Comedy Festival then pushed back on me and was like, sorry, it's not.
Well, it's easier for me to take a position than it is Melbourne.
Well, it's easier for you to take a position because then I'd just like go in like a chat and tell everyone to cancel you.
Yeah.
But like if I
think people would take my side.
don't think anyone would take your
Well,
side.
you really think that if a trans person
I
is
think-
doing their second show, it should count as their first one?
If they wanted to.
I think in certain circumstances, I can see why
I
they
can
would,
see the
obviously.
argument,
Like,
but I'm
but,
looking
like,
at it from
but
the
it's-
perspective of a competitor.
I think it's void because they haven't really had to deal with that yet. And like the
Yeah.
first case that they could have had to deal with it, they got nominated for the best show
Yeah.
instead of best newcomer anyway.
But it's crazy.
They've
that-
already won
and the
Best
only
Newcomer, which
yeah,
seems
and
so
the only reason they didn't win the
Yeah.
best show is because like one of the best shows I've ever seen was also on. Like,
I
Farting
think
and Rootin' by Jamie.
yeah,
think-
that won the
I think-
MICF award last year, right?
because Best Newcomer is defined by like a lack of experience. Like it's not defined by your identity as a person. It's defined
Yeah,
by
but people who have
whether
been-
or not you've if your skill level was reset, then sure. Like, but you've done the show. You can't
But
take
then
that back.
I no, because I would make the argument that my skill level was reset. Like not like I can still do stuff with a crowd, but I'm no
Oh.
longer doing farting and root. Like I can't be like I was at the pub with my mate Shitto and
See, that's the thing
I
though. Like,
wasn't doing-
I
yeah.
have transitioned and I'm still doing farting and rooting. you
yeah.
know?
yeah, but like I'm saying,
But now it's lady fart.
well, I'm saying that like okay, so farting and rooting is the main title. The subtitle is a bloke's guide to navigating the murky waters of feminism, POCs, and all that nonsense. You know, so like. Don't attack me. That's just the name of the show. I'm a beautiful trans woman now. So I'm saying like my skill level in a way does reset because all I was doing before, it's not like Rose. I'm not like in Fun and Rude, and I'm not like Gardening Australia is my favorite show. Like a thing that can be done from both perspectives.
That joke does not feature in Goddess.
I'm talking about like specifically ones where it's like I'm fucking women. This is what it's like when I'm at the fucking urinal and stuff. And now I'm like, well,
So you're saying it's like your insecurity show that's totally masking everything that was actually going on.
absolutely,
original,
that's what
yeah.
farting and rooting and the subtitle that I can't remember what it is called. But like I'm saying now that like I have made a conscious effort to, and not like a kind of like a
It's
like
your
a-
redemption show.
but not like a festival comic like oh I throw everything out and go again. Like I throw everything out. Not because I want to test myself, but out of necessity. Like I'm not going to an open mic in a dress and
Yeah.
doing farting
No,
and
no,
rooting.
no. I'm not. I'm not questioning the legitimacy of the transness at all. I think I have the.
I think you are.
I think I have the settling question. I think I have the. way
I
we
threw
can
nearly
settle this.
everything out. Like,
Yeah.
I pretty much had to start again.
Fair.
Yeah, so you would say,
But
and
you,
like
you
I
had,
would
you
say,
had
like
5 or 6 years experience of joke writing.
I had about 6.5 in.
Yeah,
already,
like that's
so.
invaluable. You could throw
Oh,
all
it,
my
like,
Yeah, but there are
material
it helped me
people that
find my
today,
feet.
and I wouldn't be as bad a comic as I was when I started.
It helped
but
me
if
find my
you-
feet quicker,
If you
but,
went
like-
for best newcomer
Much
now,
quicker.
you would still say you had 8 years of experience of doing.
Oh, unfortunately,
Melbourne.
Andrew already shot his load on that one.
Yeah, but like, say if you were doing your in this scenario, you are obviously some sort of fucking right wing guy
No.
who's because you just said you would deny my claim.
I'm not a right wing guy. I'm Andrew Hastings.
Yeah, but in this,
You're forgetting that he's like this narcissist who's just so concerned about his ability to
Absolutely.
win best newcomer,
saying-
even though
Okay.
you.
Can I ask my
that
settling?
ship
I think,
has
you-
sailed.
You go, but then
all
I have a
right,
question
here we
for
go.
Rose.
I'm
Yeah.
laying down.
Yeah.
I'm laying down what's happening.
Yeah.
Here.
I love American Beauty.
Yeah, and that is why Kevin Spacey is innocent. Thank you, America.
Yeah.
No, so what I'm
Yeah,
we
we
may as
go,
well just
but-
say whether we
Make your point. Yeah.
So in this-
next step.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, once again, I'll lay out clearly. I was a middling to good, reliable MC, like male comic,
Throw out a name. Don't throw out a name. Keep
Jamie
going.
Kirk. That is
Oh, you're great.
that like got like that went to Melbourne before. Like in a non-festival managed venue, did
Yeah.
my show farting and rooting
Yeah.
for 28 days.
Yeah.
And didn't get any.
vulgar
The
display of
whole
farting.
band, 28 days, came
Yeah,
to watch
the
your
whole
show,
bit.
farting and
I
rooting.
fucking ripped it up, and they checked this style.
A vulgar display of farting and rooting
yeah.
was not received as you'd
A
hoped.
man's guide to navigating the murky waters of feminism, POCs, and all that
God,
nonsense.
look, if I win an award this year, unlikely, but if I do, like, I'd be so tempted to call my show farting and rooting next year.
Man,
you
please.
should, but then you have to give a little commish to the commissioner.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
That's
like
why they
I'm
call him that.
laying it out.
It
This,
would make sense. Oh, actually, I don't want to spoil something.
Yeah.
but
this
yeah.
episode's taken a glorious turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
so I did find them like no reviewers came to it. Like people liked the show well enough. Like it was kind of like
How many stars?
well, there were no reviews. Like I got
Oh, okay.
no, sorry, I got one Funny Ton review that was 3.5 stars. It was like this.
Oh,
bloke,
that's not a great funny ton review. You want at
Yeah,
least 4, I reckon.
But it's like this bloke's funny, and like it was a bad night. Like it was a Tuesday, half off tickets on it. But like my run, like I was averaging 10.
Hang on,
to,
can I just make a joke that only Hastings will enjoy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like funny ton reviews are like Meltzer with like Okada versus Omega.
Hell yeah.
They're giving out like
So, man,
they-
9 stars.
yeah, they're giving out like 7-star reviews. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
So once again, I'm a beautiful trans woman. No, so like I did that, and I got the Funny Ton review. I was bringing in like 20 people a night, but I got no industry.
20 a
attention.
night's not bad.
Yeah,
Not
but
bad.
Like,
Good size.
actually, you're right. I was getting in 5 to 10, and
Okay.
like on Saturdays I was getting in 15.
Yeah.
Let's
okay.
say. Hastings, would you say that's a good number?
That's fantastic numbers. I'd kill for those numbers.
So
That's like Queen at Wembley.
on after me is who I think is a friend, but seems an angry, bitter young man called Andrew Hastings.
on after you.
Yeah, who
Right.
who like supports fun and rooting. But
Yeah.
then
He's just had a bad year.
yeah,
okay?
he's had a bad year. He just got married. Now
He's had a terrible year and he got married.
So now what's happened is I've done Fun and Room, but I'm like I feel like this time I finally got to come out as who I really am.
Yep,
I
of course.
reveal myself as trans. Andrew Hastings immediately does not support me.
Hey,
apparently.
whoa.
Well, you just
Yeah,
said you
this
fucking complained.
Does
wouldn't
feel
complain.
similar
I
to
would- I
someone
would-
I
I
know.
wouldn't officially complain, but I would privately complain, absolutely.
Yeah, Andrew Hastings.
Not for you being trans, but
Andrew
Oh,
Hastings
hang on,
publicly
hey.
supported
Going
my
for best you can have
transition,
2
but
bites of
privately
fucking
was
cherry.
like, I reckon he's doing it to win awards, and that's right. I said, hey.
Hang on.
No.
Hang on. This opens up another line of questioning. Is
Okay.
what private complaints has Hastings made in the in like the immediate aftermath of me coming out?
Yeah,
oh
go-
man, I couldn't remember, but,
But
here's,
they were there?
here's a big list. No, I don't think so.
Were there any?
I'm
No.
very supportive of
Yeah.
you and
No,
your...
this is not about. This is not an analog for you. This is me
Okay.
being trans.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
exist.
I believe you're entitled to run for best newcomer.
Thank you. This is actually the first hour of that in
Exactly.
Melbourne.
Because
Yeah.
it's your first hour in Melbourne. Exactly.
He's still.
But
he's still
if Reese Piper had done Spirit of the Staircase in 2014 and was now doing Goddess, 5 years removed,
The 5 years changes it a little.
Matt
interesting.
Yeah, a little.
Matt O'Kine had about an 8-year gap. He did an hour and then
Before
waited
being
like
black and then one best newcomer.
yeah.
Why aren't we complaining?
He also drew Best Newcomer with Ronnie Cheng, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because
Oh
he
my
was
lord.
technically it was his newcomer does not mean best open micer. It
No,
means
it means
best
first
person with
hour.
a full festival show.
Right, and so Matt O'Kine had done one and then didn't, apparently, is what Rose is saying.
No, but he had
I
done.
reckon if you're like 8 years later, like it's
Oh.
so different.
Maybe. Well, I'm waiting 8 years then.
So anyway, well, you can't do it anymore.
Well, you got to wait
motherfucker.
16 years because you've
Yeah.
done it twice.
Yeah, that's true.
So at this point,
Jeez, I wonder what
Yeah.
Andrew Hastings comedy will be from
I take
16 years
I
from
take
now.
like a 2 to 3 month break from comedy to sort myself out and write new material.
Yeah,
'cause
of
I
course, very
don't feel
valid.
comfortable about going on stage the way I look and whatever.
I came out, I came
A
out.
cactus juice.
Well, that was the first place I did it, but like I came out in the January, and I think I waited about 2 months. Like I was still gigging.
You
but
could probably see. I think we posted something on Instagram.
yeah, I
the
think
very
it,
first
it,
tab.
I think it was about 2 months later in March. But like I was still, I didn't stop gigging, but I just wasn't ready to go up.
Yeah.
As that yet because I didn't really have any material.
So I'm back, baby.
Yeah.
Jamie. I'm not changing my name. It's still Jamie Kirk.
Yep.
Because it's
That's fair. That's fine. That doesn't come into it.
My sister just had a baby called Jamie, and part of that choice was they gave it a sort of gender. It's born assigned male at birth, but they
Yeah.
gave it that name sort of in case anything like me might happen,
That's
which I
why-
thought was quite nice
That's
of her.
why I'm going to call my kid Hastings because I know he's going to be sick as hell.
Oh,
and I give
God.
him no other option. I was like, you have to have
can't
sex
imagine-
and eat directly out of an avocado.
Even when you make that joke, I can't imagine like the blank that you'd get from Amy.
well, I was like, the only way I
Andrew's
get
a cute name.
the only way. No, I'm
No,
saying
Hastings.
Hastings.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only way I'd get around it now, which I'm like, I'm exposing myself because my wife will listen. is
You're
that, like-
exposing. Oh, he is exposing himself.
Sorry,
Oh God,
I'm
put
wearing
it away.
my Sam. I'm,
Spacey fan indeed.
sorry, I'm wearing my Sam Taunton shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would expose myself by saying, I never came into it, Andrew Hastings. I was basing it off Hastings Ruckle, who is a Friday Night Lights character, who I quite enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
And Hastings can be a boy's name. But anyway, that's way besides the point.
Yeah.
I've come back.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
doing,
God, this is the longest like hypothetical.
I know,
did
but
we
look
get-
how much it's fueling.
Did we get to the end?
Yeah, you reboot your career.
I've rebooted my career.
Yeah.
I've started, I've carving out, and I'm telling you the whole time, I think you're my friend, but it seems like you're not based on what you've been saying.
Very supportive.
I'm back in, I'm hanging out with like the guys and the girls again. I'm trying to I'm going to write this new show. It's like no material I've ever tried before. And in the middle, there's big personal through line about the journey I've been through. Maybe there'll be songs. Maybe there'll be an audio visual element. Who knows? And you say to me, good job. But then you text Charlie and you're like, this fucking bitch
If you
is
say I'm going
coming.
to Melbourne, I would say, man, that sounds sick. I'm so happy for you. I hope to see you there. I'm doing my first hour this year.
Dude, you
And
shouldn't
then-
do
okay.
another hour.
It'd be great.
Okay, well let's have this conversation now. So I'm Jamie Kirk,
Yeah.
beautiful trans woman. It's Melbourne.
And I'm
Regi-
Andrew Hastings, but I haven't done an hour yet.
Because
I've got to be in running. for Best Newcomer.
Let's say. Okay, so I'm like, oh hey,
What am
Andrew.
I, the referee or something?
Yeah.
Well, you can just say you came down for a beer. I'll be like, all right, so we're going to Tudor.
I'll do it. Speaking of which,
So the trans women are ganging up on me.
Me and I brought my other trans friend.
muscle.
Yeah,
Trans
I
muscle.
brought a bouncer. So okay, so we sit down. Hey, Andrew, man, it's good to see you. Would you like a beer?
I would love one.
Yeah, make the woman pay for it. Which I believe Rose has done to you.
Does
before.
transitioning also clear the beers you owe me? Is that
I don't owe you anything. Okay, so like look, man, I'm thinking of doing this show for Melbourne this
oh
year.
man, that's sick. That'd be
and
great.
it's going to be like a show about my transition, so it's all going to be
Perfect.
material that I've done. And like, what do you think about because I respect your opinion as a comedian.
Yeah, that sounds great. I
See,
think.
This scenario is wild.
yeah, no, but I was just saying.
Oh yeah, Melbourne would be good. Hope you get a good venue. Yeah,
saying
whatever.
that- yeah. Quick side note: we're back out of the conversation. I'm doing this to butter him up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
okay.
like,
Yeah.
well, like,
He's
like-
not actually being very responsive.
Well, like in real
that
life,
was pretty dismissive.
in
what
real
he
life,
just
I
said,
think
like-
Yeah,
in
it's
real
pretty
life,
spot on.
in real life, as a strong masculine man, I think Andrew Hastings is a very funny man. But this is
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Kirk,
Yeah.
and so
Okay,
like,
okay.
so I respect your opinion comedically a lot, and I'd like. Do you mind if maybe you go over my show with me?
Of course,
and, like,
anytime.
Like I don't want you to direct it or anything.
No,
but
no,
like,
no.
I think like if we could like do some bits,
Man,
maybe
we could tool some stuff. Yeah,
maybe
sure.
I could even take a look at yours if you like. Are you doing Melbourne
Yeah, I'm
this year?
doing a Melbourne. I'm actually going for Best Newcomer. It's my first time. I'm like, I think I got a pretty good shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, can I stop again? Wild. Again, this story is wild.
Okay. I'm just like, oh, really? So you're doing a show? Like, what's it called, man?
It's called Vulgar Display of Comedy 2.
I really hope you
Because the
were
first
gonna
one went so well in
say-
Sydney.
I really hoped you were going to say vulgar display of farting and riffing.
Oh, man, that's
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
farting and rooting.
It's
That's-
about my dad.
that's so interesting, Andrew, because
Yeah.
like you'd think like, you know, with like marketing wise, you wouldn't want to go to Melbourne as best newcomer and call a show Vulgar Display of Comedy 2. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, you've always, you know, that's what I've always respected about you, Andrew. You've always blazed your own path. Critics and peers be damned.
Yeah, man, like, I think people will get that, like, what I'm trying to do.
Cool, man.
Oh, I haven't seen you crack up like that for a while.
That was just the best little bit of business A6. Man. All right. So we had that laughter was all a sidebar. We're back.
Yeah. So
we're back at the-
I think
we're
people
back at
get
the
it.
pub.
I think it'll be good.
You think people get?
Yeah, I got high hopes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. Oh, that's a great Panic at the Disco song, Andrew.
Not for me.
Well,
Dude, you're not drinking your beer fast enough. No, that's still in the scenario. Yeah,
so
yeah.
what are you thinking like for your poster?
Okay, so it's me.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah.
And okay, like you're gonna have to stick with me here for a second.
Yeah.
I'm dressed as a woman,
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
and then
Seems kind of sus.
me
Yeah.
as well.
It's a little offensive to both of us.
Yeah,
But, you know.
is me dressed as a man is strangling that woman.
Oh god.
Now, the face of me dressed as a woman
Can we-
is obscured in the image.
Can we sidebar for a second? Is like we've mentioned that I have a new housemate and we're being very loud, and like that will come across really bad. If she could hear that, because she doesn't know the past of the previous poster.
I also want to say back in. It's yeah.
You
man.
should actually say that. That is a parody of the poster
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
were being punched in the face.
Yeah.
People
Li-
thought that it was a woman being
Listen
punched
to
in the face.
listen to the episode Andy's Uh-Oh Part 2 for full details.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're back in, and now that you've said that thing about your poster, I'd be like, oh, interesting. It's odd that you've got such a kind of misogynistic poster, and you also haven't acknowledged that Rose is even here sitting with us having
That's
a beer.
true, yeah.
Like, say hi to her at least.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't say. What's up, man?
Yeah. Oh, what's up, man?
Whatever.
Okay, so, and do you have
Doing
like,
irony.
do you have like an?
Oh, God.
Are you like? Do you have like an FMV or anything?
No.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
venue are you doing?
Okay, so it's near. Okay, so you know, like Hairy Little Sister behind Melbourne Town Hall,
Yeah.
like where the hub is.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
10 suburbs
So-
over from that. Right?
West Carlton.
It's glowing up.
Yeah, it's
It's in the little amphitheater at Prince's Park.
yeah. Well, there's a little,
don't even know if there is
there's
one of
this
them.
really beautiful. It's like this 40-seat theater in sort of like it's a few suburbs out of the way, but like it's worth the trip. There's this really beautiful theater. It's 40 seats, low ceilings. The guy who runs the venue is amazing, really good with marketing and promo stuff. So he's got a cousin who rents out the fire escape, and I've got like a little. There's no microphone, but there's like an echo. So it's like, yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
You know what, man? Like, I know that you've dealt with like adversity in your career, and like, but like, I think that like you could really make that work. Like, you're funny enough, and you can call attention to it. So
Yeah.
I just want to like.
I think it's gonna be my year.
Do you mind if I just run some stuff by you about my show?
Yeah, of course,
Like I've
please.
talked to Rose about it already.
Yeah,
but
of
like I
course,
just wanted
yeah.
to talk about it with you and get your
Oh,
perspective
in this
on it.
scenario, I've already won the MICF award for best show.
Yeah,
So
I already
I'm not,
ran-
I'm not
Yeah,
threatened.
this show's set in 2025.
Yeah. Well-
2021.
Well, Rose is directing my show.
Oh, cool,
Oh,
great.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
great, man.
Yeah. I think it's great to have like the MICF award winner go for my
she's
show.
Fantastic.
So like I've been talking like because I've like like I know we haven't been hanging out as much because like I've made friends with like a lot of the women in the comedy scene now and
Yeah.
like so like
I'm
I've
busy.
yeah,
You have to fucking get the win.
yeah you really
You have to get
I've
the
just been
win.
busy. Like I've had a lot on lately.
I guess you could say we've both been busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been really busy.
Yeah, that's great, man. You're making this really hard for me. And
As if he wouldn't be in real life too.
Oh, God damn it. So yeah, I've been like, because I've like since this transition, like I've been like meeting like other people and like hanging out with other people.
Cool, man.
I feel like I've been talking to like people with FMVs and like talking to them. I think I'm gonna get an FMV. Like that's pretty.
Man, that's
that's
great.
pretty cool, right?
Man, that's going to be huge for you.
Yeah.
Didn't get one before you came out, I noticed.
No, but like.
No, just like, I don't mean anything by that. It's
But it
just
sounds
something I
like,
noticed.
is there something like you want to say to me? Like,
No, that's great. I reckon, like, have you like looked at applying for the Gibbo?
You guys are gonna get into a fight.
I'm using
That's
being
why I'm here.
trans.
I
as
gotta
a cover
get in
for
here
like,
to
why are
get
you
in the
hanging out with
middle,
Charlie and Jamie?
Yeah. No, that's cool. FMV, like, have you, like, I mean, you could maybe go for best show or, like, maybe even the Gibbo.
Well,
like,
I don't
if you're
think
doing,
I don't think I
trans
could-
stuff, like, Gibbo's probably a good
I
option.
don't think I could go for best show, because like I'm
Yeah, right.
like it's my first.
Hang on, I need a sidebar again.
Okay.
Just telling you to go for the Gibbo, and you're like, trans stuff, that's good for the Gibbo. The group chat, I think it was yesterday.
I believe it was this morning.
Oh, it was yesterday. We were talking
We're
about
arguing
it.
about what qualifies you for the
where he's
Gibbo.
like, isn't it just fucking weird shit?
Like, it has to be like a high concept show, like,
Yeah.
the clowning or being trans.
Okay, so back in.
That's not a high
It's a
concept.
joke, right?
So like yeah, no, I don't think I'll go for the best show because
Okay,
like,
sure.
because people have been doing it for so much longer than
Yeah,
Oh,
me, and
yeah,
like
of
there's
course.
there's
Tom
like,
Yeah, I'm going to be the first person to win it twice.
yeah, and like Tom Walker's got a great
Yeah.
new show.
Yeah, of
like
course.
he's doing like clown prov now.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
calling it.
Oh, can I just timestamp a prediction? Winner of the top one this year, Kat Cohen.
Okay, sure.
What's that?
I don't know,
Prediction.
Kat Cohen.
From New York.
Oh,
Does
cool.
like kind of
Oh,
like
right,
cabaret comedy stuff. She's so funny.
Yeah, I think it's
that's-
going to be...
That's my pick.
Tom Walker?
Yeah.
Tom, not a bad shout.
Could be Chenny.
Yeah, I hope it's Cambo again.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You can't win it twice.
Yeah, I know, but his blurb about they'll give it to me again. So, have
I
you seen
haven't-
it?
no, I haven't
It's-
seen it.
If you go on it, it's like I reckon Sam will win the big award again.
That's
very good.
great.
Okay, so back in, cause we got to end this episode really soon. I mean,
Yeah.
not episode. We're just hanging out.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So I don't think I'd go for
Well,
that.
that was the
because-
sidebar. Now we're
So,
hanging out
in
again.
more traditional stand-up, so not
And
the
like
Gibbo.
you surely remember because you've been friends with Rose for longer than
Yeah,
me.
absolutely.
That, like, Rose did Best Newcomer in 2020, and then
Yeah.
she won the not the Barry, sorry, transphobic.
Yeah.
Sometimes even I make mistakes.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been watching my shows, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's amazing that I've been keeping this going.
yeah.
I mean, and by keeping this going, I'm not talking about being trans, which I am 100%. But like, so yeah, Rose won it, and
Yeah, I've just
Best-
been busy.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like. Sometimes that's the problem with you. I felt it when I was a guy as well. There's like you always have to get the last word, but like I just want you like to do what you were doing before, like support me when I was a dude,
of
support
course,
me as
of
a
course,
woman.
anytime. I've just got a lot of gigs.
So
Let's just end this fucking episode.
So I'm not going for the Gibbo either because like like I don't, man, like I don't do like weird ass fucking cabaret.
Oh no, hang on.
shit or
This one will get him. He hasn't shared this news with you yet, but as happens when you come out as trans, Jamie's actually with Token now, so he's
Well, no,
got
I'm not-
representation.
yeah.
I'm talking
so-
to people.
yeah. Oh,
Talking
okay.
out
Netflix.
I was at Charlie's last night. I was
Like if
hanging
you
out
want,
there.
man, I can like ask.
I was hanging out with Yaz. He used to work at the Comedy Store.
Well, if you want, man, like because we've been friends for so long, like I'm kind of like in talks with Token right now. Like
Yeah.
I might like do like a preview at the store. You could open for me if you want.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, definitely. I could be free. I haven't got a lot on at the moment, so I could probably.
What days?
That's a very human.
I know that you said you have a lot of gigs, but like what days could you do?
I mean, what's today? January the 16th, right now.
Yeah.
I think that's what day of the week is it?
It would be like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday run.
Yeah, I can do that.
Like what one?
No,
though?
I can,
You got 3 days,
Oh, okay.
just 3 days
I'm
free.
free. I can do it.
Okay, cool.
Full
So, like,
3-day block free.
I mean, like,
I got 52 free full 3 days free. God, yeah, I'm free. Those
sorry,
nights.
I
free Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays.
I don't mean to bring everything back to newly trans Jamie Kirk.
No,
but,
of course,
we-
please.
You know, as you do when you hang out with friends at the pub and drink, sometimes you get sidetracked and laugh at shitty in-jokes and stuff.
And pretend that you're doing a podcast.
Exactly. Sometimes I like to pretend I'm podcasting. Just in my room, talking to my cats at the car ranch. talking to my pussy, calling the car ranch. But I'm thinking of well, I'm not thinking. I've already done it. I've done the application. I've said I'm going for, like, it's my first show. I'm going for newcomer.
Oh, you're going for newcomer.
Yeah, like I'm going, like, we'll be like compared, but I don't want it to be like a competition.
No,
you know, like,
that's fine, man. We're all,
and it's like your show sounds so cool.
Right,
It's in the
yeah.
fire
Oh,
escape,
thanks.
and there's no microphone.
yeah,
and like,
that's great.
like I've
No,
got,
I'm cool. With
and like
this.
I've got
Go
the
for it.
Victoria Hotel. Like it's like
Yeah,
a great.
I just like
it's like 80
sorry,
seaters.
So can we just back up a second? But newcomer's the one specifically you're going for. Not Gibbo, the one for weird shows.
No, I don't, because I mean, do you think you'd have a chance at the Gibbo?
No, I'm like
Like
kinda,
Rose, you didn't enter the Gibbo, did you?
No,
Well, I
do
mean, I was eligible, but I won best newcomer.
I just do pretty straightforward stand-up. So I'm
Yeah,
probably
well, so
gonna-
do I. Like,
Yeah,
I would say it's pretty
Just
straightforward.
because, like, I thought it had to be your first show.
Well, I mean, it is my first show as Jamie Kirk.
Huh?
as opposed to the last one as Jamie Kirk.
Well, Rose, don't you take his side. You're my
That was a
friend.
sidebar.
Oh, right.
I'm not against anyone's side. I was just under the impression. You know, there were two genders.
To the next step.
Oh, to the next step.
Hang
Hang on, we got to get plugs in.
Okay, that would have been so good to end it on.
Oh,
that.
what date is this coming out?
I've got my new show, Fartin' and Rootin', coming out at Sydney
yeah.
Comedy Festival. This will come out in like 3 weeks, I think. No,
Oh,
2?
My Melbourne show will be on sale by then, so yeah, come if you're in Melbourne, come to that March 26th to April 19 at Mantra on Russell. It's called Goddess. I'm so poor, so please come to the show. I need money and laughter and
I think going to Melbourne is the best financial move.
no, it's the worst
Yeah, I got
financial.
some bad news for you.
It's the worst financial move I could have ever made
lost
in the wake of being
$6,000.
unemployed for 7 months.
Did you listen to Andy's part 2?
I was on it. I was there for part of it.
It's true.
But
You saw me at the healthy start of the run as well. By the end,
It
I was
didn't feel-
truly in a
it didn't-
tailspin.
didn't feel that
Right,
way.
Jamie saw the
I
end.
saw
I was
him in the tailspin. And it was...
I was just on so much ketamine.
It was
Jeez,
pretty
it,
bad.
it looked bad when I got there.
Yeah.
But yeah, come to that. I'm doing Sydney Comedy Festival as well. I think that's going to be announced in the next couple of days. So that's like May 6 and May 8 at the Factory Theatre at 9:30.
What room?
Please come to that. I'm in the Matchbox.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I
Matchbox
love
is great.
the
Matchbox
Matchbox.
is sick, yeah.
I did my first ever show there, and I haven't done it since.
Yeah.
You got anything? I need to piss real bad.
Power bombs on every week. We're in full flight. Come through.
We're crushing it.
My Twitter at Andrew Hastings is doing good.
Yeah, you can...
If you like wrestling stuff, I've been posting a little more wrestling type stuff on Twitter, so maybe follow that. But not just that. Like, you don't have to like it.
Comedy at Papa Getty's third Tuesday of every month.
I do shows. You can find me. I'm Jamie Kirk on Facebook. To the next step.
To the next step.
I'm just been really busy.